Budgeting my doctor salary has allowed me to invest consistently, has given me more control of my time, and has helped me worry less about money whilst planning for the future. And in today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you guys how to budget your salary. So if that's of interest to you, then stay tuned. Step 1 is calculating your income from your 9-to-5 salary, any income that you get from your side hustles, and any dividends, which is money that you get from your investments. The second step is calculating your expenses, and I break down my expenses into 3 categories. The first category is my essentials, and that's everything that I need for my day-to-day living. The second category is what I call my soft life fund, and that's basically my enjoyment fund. And then the last category is future self, and that encompasses investing, emergency funds, and all things self-development. So we'll do a deep dive into the first one, which is the essentials. That covers things like mortgage or rent, utility bills, phone bills, insurance, transportation, food, and anything else that you need for your day-to-day living. The second category is soft life, and for me, in here, I've put things like wining and dining, going on holiday, self-care, shopping, but it could include other things that I haven't listed here that you may do for yourself. And then the last category is future self. So I personally have broken my future self pot down into 2 subcategories. The first category is short-term, and then the second category is long-term. So we'll start off with short-term. Short-term for me is a pot of money that I will access within 1 to 2 years. And within this, it includes my emergency fund, any money that's going towards any upcoming investment plans, a pot of money that would also be used for any self-development courses. Now, because this money needs to be accessible, rather than leaving it in the bank, I usually will put this money in a high interest savings account that is easy access, which means that if I ever needed to take the money out, I wouldn't be penalised for it. And then the second subcategory is long term, and money put here means I will not touch it for a significant number of years in order for it to benefit from compounding. And if you want to know what compounding is, I will make a link up here for you to watch a video on where I explain it in depth. Once you've created your version, you then want to input all of the data, and that will give you roughly every month how much you're spending. Now, the next step after this is the fun step. You can then create a target on how much you want to spend of your salaries on those individual categories per month. So I'll start off with mine. I'm a Christian, so I pay my tithe. After I've given 10% to God, my new amount is what I regard as my income. Of that, my goal every month is not to spend more than 40% of my salary on essentials, not to spend more than 10% on soft life, and to spend at least 50% on my future self. And remember earlier, I said that I break up my future self into 2 subcategories, so short term and long term. I need to portion at least 20% for all things short term, and then the remaining 30% for all things long term. Once you've got the actual numbers and you've put it into the table, then you want to see how you compare to the target amount that you set that you wanted to spend as a proportion of your salary. And if it turns out that you are spending a lot more in a certain category, you can then do a deep dive, because the numbers are all there in front of you, on what things you can cut down on ahead of the next month. And if you are spending less, then great, that's amazing. You could give yourself a treat and for that month potentially boost your soft life fund, or you could increase how much is going towards your future self pot. But the idea is, by having everything in front of you, it makes it easier for you to plan your finances better and remove the anxiety around future-proofing yourself, whilst also trying to have fun in the moment when it comes to spending. Through reading Rich Dad Poor Dad, I was introduced to the concept of pay yourself first, and he basically says that prior to paying your bills and then looking at what's left and investing from that, you are very strict and you see your investing and your future self pot as something to prioritize. So you make sure that you apportion the amount for that first, and then once you have done that, you can pay for everything else secondary. And the concept behind this is to ensure that you are preparing your future self as much as possible and trying to be less reliant on living paycheck to paycheck. And that brings me to the end of this video. I hope it was useful and has made budgeting less daunting. I will put in the description a link to a budgeting template which you can use to help you achieve your financial goals. Let me know what you thought about the different categories and if there's anything that you think I may have missed out. And I will see you in my next video. Take care. Bye.